Avatar hit the screens in 2009 and became the all-time highest grossing film in the box office. 13 years later, and finally, Avatar The Way of Water is released in theaters around the world. I watched the film, and in this video I'll give my honest, non-spoiler review. So are you ready, fellas? Let's get started. Set more than a decade after the events of the first film, Avatar The Way of Water begins to tell the story of the Sully family, Jake, Neytiri, and their kids. The trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, the battles they fight to stay alive, and the tragedies they endure. The film is a towering achievement that offers a visual spectacle like no other, while exploring new themes around family and parenthood. Generally speaking, its narrative might be fairly standard stuff, but visually speaking, Avatar The Way of Water is a stunningly immersive experience. James Cameron has justly proved why the enormous budget for Way of Water, as the visuals are literally out of this world. You basically get lost in the world of Pandora, and the director makes an amazing job in expanding the world and give us just enough to look forward for the next film. Honestly, throughout the whole film, the visuals are so stunning that you sometimes forget you are watching a fantasy film, and instead you feel the world is real. The Avatar's way of move and face expressions are so real that you forget it's CGI. It really makes you believe in it, as every emotion is clear on the face of the characters. It's like seeing the actors but without seeing them. So, to sum up my opinion on the visuals, they should receive the Academy Award for Best Visuals already. As it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and the detailed job being made is just extraordinary. It is safe to say that James Cameron did not hold back on the budget, but he also made sure to pay attention to every single detail. Now the story is actually good. It moves in the same pace like the first film, and it clearly establishes relationships between the old and new characters. The stakes for every character are pretty clear from the beginning, and in general, you look forward as to what's gonna happen for the whole 3 hours. To explain it better, it's true that the film stays on a surface level for the entire time, but still manages to move the story forward while also it seeks out fresh status. Now, while it may not be the jaw-dropping plot that makes you hop on your seat, Avatar The Way of Water delivers on its promise of expanding the world of Pandora. It's fully engrossing, always eye-popping, and occasionally touching. Exactly like the first Avatar, it's a movie to admire and enjoy, if not quite love. Now, my personal opinion is that the fantasy genre has been suffering lately with superhero movies that nowadays don't even pay attention to the visual effects and CGI. And not only that, but the stories are trying too much to be modernized and are usually shallow. Not the case with Avatar Way of Water. It is apparent that the film is a well-made family fantasy adventure centered around the theme of family. It is a movie filled with wonder, which has become a rare commodity in the age of CGI. Now surely, the script could have used some improvements, but I think this film was just a test from James Cameron to see if the world and the audience loves the franchise enough so that he can go on and bring sequels. At the end of the day, and to conclude, the film is exactly that, a film made for the viewers and not for the critics. The critics have the tendency to sometimes be cruel and hate certain type of films, just like Avatar The Way of Water, that before it was even released, some people just started hating on it simply because of its overwhelming budget. I'm here to remind you that the critics are not always right, and at the end of the day, their opinion is just an opinion, just like mine. May I remind you that the Martin Scorsese once said that Marvel movies are not cinema, and yet there are millions of people out there that love, live, and breathe for those films. And now proof that the audience loves Avatar Way of Water is the box office, since the film grossed 441 million worldwide in its opening 3 days, marginally less than its 500 million target, but still extremely good. And my opinion is that the film may gross around 1.6 billion in its full run. So my point is, the fantasy genre will always be heavily criticized no matter how good or bad it is, simply because it usually relies on visual effects and mythical stories. But that does not make it any less unique or weak in its storytelling. All in all, Avatar The Way of Water is a well-made movie, with a decent plot that moves the story forward and makes you long for the next sequel. New and old characters that are introduced in a great way, and of course, unprecedented, stunning, eye-popping visuals that make the world feel completely truthful. What about you, fellas? Have you seen Avatar The Way of Water? Let me know your thoughts on the film in the comments below. My suggestion is, if you haven't, go and watch it. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. Until the next one, have an amazing time, and I'll see you all later.
Pandora, ladies and gentlemen, respect that fact every second of every day.